I want to wish my husband and all the veterans out there, no matter what uniform you served in, an early happy Veterans Day. Enjoy. So today I'm sitting on the couch feeling a lot better, and I decide to snuggle my husband, and he's over there biting his nails as usual. So I decided, since I'm feeling much better and there's nothing else for me to do, I'm going to take him upstairs and perform a manicure on my husband's nails. All right, guys, it's important for you guys to know that I've been married to this man for the last 18 years, and he's a chronic nail biter. And I have to say, I neglected his nails. And so when I went in there to do his nail, I had to do some of the steps 2 and 3 times over before I was satisfied with the results. And I'm not going to edit any of the dirty stuff out. I'm just going to put it out there. So I used to take him to the nail salon with me when I would go to get my nails done. And so I have not done his nails in a good 10 years myself personally. And sporadically, when I take him, he would get a manicure and they will do what they had to do to clean him up. But this is the first time in 18 years I'm going to give my husband like a really, really in-depth manicure. Now, you're not going to see the part where I lotion and massage his hands and stuff. I didn't think that part was important, more so than how much work I had to put into cleaning up his nails. So on this particular nail, the cuticle was so long and sticky it grew down to about half of his finger was cuticle. The nail was cuticle. So you would know when you're pushing back on it, it has sort of like a sticky, bungee feeling when you're pushing it back. You're going to know you're pushing back on cuticle that is on the nail for a long time. And I'm home and I cleaned up my nail room the night before, and I realized that sometimes I take some of the equipment, some of the tools out of my nail salon here and take them into the shop. So I could not find my cuticle pusher, but I was using one of the tweezers that has a rounded back, which was really intended to double as a cuticle pusher. So it worked perfectly fine. So here we are pushing back all of that bungeeing. You can see how far back I am pushing on the cuticle to even get it up to the echinoppium. But oh my goodness, it was a lot of cuticle stuck to the nail. You could literally see the cuticle pushing back on me. And yeah, they were literally like halfway down his finger, the nail bed. All right, from here, I decided to, I think I'm going to be using a bit on my e-file. And my intended purpose is to start lifting the cuticle off the nail so I can clip them out. So we're going to use a ball bead to eat up some of that cuticle I was pushing away from the nail and the heavy debris in the back before I could even start cutting it. And then after I cut it, I believe I went back in and used the ball on it again. Now, this manicure is going to have to be a work in progress for him because there was a lot there to clean up. And so you would see me going back and forth, trying to get as much of it I can get on this go around without hurting him. Yeah, so I lengthened the bit in the e-file so I have a little bit more freedom to move with it. And I'm slanting it underneath the folds of the cuticle that is stuck. I'm using that thumb and literally lifting the skin of his finger to get around and underneath the cuticle. It was a lot. So if you're gonna notice me doing it this step multiple times on both hands, that was necessary. We had so much cuticle there. So, anyways, our 18th anniversary is on November 18th, and we plan on having a very small ceremony. And I kind of really want his fingers to look good. I want his fingers to look beautiful. Alrighty, and I'm gonna perform this on all 10 fingers. And I promise you guys I wouldn't let him go that long anymore without having his nails done. It was so necessary for us too. So to a certain extent, he is a nail biter, but I feel like if I work with him a little bit more to keep the cuticles and the skin around his nails and stuff like that from being so hard and dry, he probably wouldn't be tempted. I'm hoping to, bite so much. Overall, he was a trooper. And the moment I started doing his nails, he wanted to fall asleep. I'm like, dude, you have the energy to do everything else around here. And the moment I decide I want to show some love and take care of you, you want to fall asleep. And as you guys can see from his watch, it was like 10 o'clock, 10:13, 10:30 in the morning. We just woke up 2 hours ago. So no, you're not going back to sleep. You're going to sit here and you're going to let me do this manicure on you. So here is my little ball bit. And we're going to start from the pinky. And guys, you're going to see how much of, you can literally see it. How much of that stuff is just going to be powdering off. I was too ashamed of myself that I do everybody else's nails and my husband's nails look like this. So as I was cleaning up, I was pushing it back. And I could see it. I'm using my thumb to literally lift the skin up. And as you guys notice, this was a dry manicure I performed on him. If I was doing a wet manicure, all that sticky stuff right there would have been a little bit more dangerous. I shouldn't say dangerous, a little bit more hectic to get out. But with it being dry, I can just use the e-file with the ball bits and literally grind it off. And in the corners, it was exceptionally thick and I don't want to call my husband's hands crusty. It was just thick in the folds of the corner. Yep, I had my work cut out for me on this manicure. And I am going to repeat this process on the opposite hand as well. Baby doll, can I put some cuticle oil on your nails now? Yes, guys, as soon as I polish his nail, I didn't put gel on his nails this time. So as soon as the polish dry, he got up and ran away. And he thought he got away from that cuticle oil, but he just got a good dose of cuticle oil. So that is something you're not going to see on the video that I put it on, but you just heard me hold him down and put some cuticle oil on his nails. He's over there shaking his legs. It's like he's bored. I'm bored. We had a dog when we lived in Arizona named Cocopelli. And Cocopelli was a red heel, and red heelers are not couch potatoes. They like to be outside. They want to go for a run with you. And Cocopelli would be like, when he's in the house and he's bored. And so I I was like, Cocopelli, you gotta sit there and let me do your nails. Matter of fact, I used to do both my dogs, Cocopelli and Kiwi's toenails. And Cocopelli and Kiwi had gotten used to the fact that they had manicure spa days. And they would sit there and let me polish their toenails. Oh my God, my husband is so not a Cocopelli or a Kiwi because they actually enjoyed getting their toenails done. And they'll sit on the kitchen floor after I finish polishing their nails and sniff their toes. And as soon as their polish was dry, they were going to be in yahoos again. So he's not a good Cocopelli. Yeah, so now I'm using the brush on my e-file, little brush that comes with the e-file, and I am brushing away the powder that we generated when we grind the dried up cuticles. Guys, it was really necessary. I had to make a choice whether or not I wanted him to soak his nails or whether or not I wanted to do a dry manicure and just go in there. And I think I made the right choice by not wetting the dry cuticles and take my time and go in there and just really clean them up. Right now, he's running around the house doing the laundry, so I'm not going to complain about nothing this man does. So here I changed out the bit for a sanding band, a 80 grit sanding band. And so I'm just going to go and at first I thought, okay, I had enough. I cleaned up the nail enough. And I'm going to buff it up, clean up the nail surface, and put some gel polish on it and send him on his way. But as I was getting in here, I am beginning to notice there is so much more on the nail in the cuticle area. Like this manicure was all cuticle, okay? In the cuticle area that I would need to pay attention to. Come on, move his hand over, baby girl. And I decided at this point that after I finished doing this part here, I was really going to have to go back in again and work the cuticles out. It was just that serious. I'm even pushing up with the sanding band, just to move a little bit of the cuticle that was still stuck there. And I was just like, okay, no, I have to get back in there and work this bad boy out. And I was going to put gel on his nail, is the reason why I am roughening up the surface of the nail. And then I decided if I wanted to do this again, give him a week, and just before today's the 2nd, so we're talking about the 18th is our vow renewal. If I was supposed to do his nails again, I didn't want to have to grind the gel off. So I decided to eventually buff his nail out and then put some base coat and a top coat on it. Overall, I was happy with the result, but it was a process getting there. Now my finger is in the way. Every time I look at the nail, I would see even more cuticle that just... I guess at that point I could have done a soak, but I decided I was just going to go straight dry. So we're going to dust off his nails. Yeah, so I love that little brush thing. It really gets into the crease and crevices of the nail and remove dust. And if you would, at this point, applying an acrylic set, you really don't want the dust in there. Let's see what we're going to be doing now. So right here, I'm squaring off his whatever free edge he doesn't have. But some of them was a little bit jagged, so... And normally I wouldn't see so back and forth like I am right here. There was just nothing there. My poor baby. Yeah, see, like I'm going in one direction there. But in some cases, I couldn't help it. I just had to. Do you have a family member, loved one, someone who bites their nails? Do you do their manicure? I got phones dinging and buzzing everywhere. So I literally have to pull back on his skin to get to the free edge. I would like to see his nail just break the free edge. It doesn't have to be long, but just come up a little bit above the free edge. If I can keep him from munching on them. At least until after the 18th. Goodness gracious. But I had fun. I enjoyed doing my baby's nails today. I'm describing what you're seeing, but I enjoyed it. I think I did more than he did, but whatever. Sit down and let mommy do your nails. I think he enjoyed it immensely as well. He just very high spirited and hates sitting down. And I'm using an 8080 not polished rectangular file. So moving right along, we are going to try to cut out some of that lifted cuticle now that is hard. So let me see if I can describe what that. Those cuticles were just as hard as if you cut the free edge. They were just as hard as cutting the free edge. I'm not kidding, guys. There was some really hard skin. It's not skin. You guys know what I mean. Dried, dehydrated, dead tissue. There. And I need to get, for him, next time I'll get a curved cuticle cutter. And in the future, I will do a combination of a dry and a wet manicure for him. There is no way you should be living with a nail tech and your nails. I take full responsibility for neglecting my husband's nails the way they are. I just knew when I used to reserve it for us to have his and her time when we go to the nail shop, but now I don't go to the nail shop no more. I just do mine myself. And I do his petties, but I just had not been doing his hands, and it shows that I neglected to take care of my man's hands. But he was a trooper, and we got through it. In some cases, it was coming up with some nice whole pieces. And remember, guys, this is after we have already used a ball bit on it, basically removing the part that was stuck to his nail. And this is the actual trimming of the cuticle. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think I went back with a ball bead one more time. On this hand, I did not lift the cuticle like I did on the other hand, and you're gonna have to see me come back and literally go in there and lift them so that I can safely cut them without cutting him. Even though I think on this particular manicure it was impossible for me to cut him because there was so much there. Um, there is so much there, and we will be revisiting this again really soon because I would like to go back in and really clean out, at least get the hard pieces out. Yep, that one piece went flying. There was no nail for me to clean under the free edge. It was just, a truncated manicure on my husband. But let's see what we're going to do here. So yeah, I'm going to push back on them again. And so now I am, you can use your needle nose bit to go up underneath here. This was one of my tweezers that I'm using, and the tweezer had a very fine end that would allow me to get up underneath the nail, lift it, get up underneath the cuticle and lift it to cut it out. So I know I'm using a tweezer, guys, so I don't need any one of you to come after me. I know what it is I have to do to get up underneath there. And if you think about it, I'm using it slanted, so I'm not going directly pointing straight onto his nail. I'm literally using the side of it to get up underneath that sticky layer of cuticle that is still wanting to stick to his nail. So now, guys, he did not grow this cuticle in one day. This cuticle was grown over a period of time. So this is not just like I'm conducting a regular manicure, and it's on my husband. So I took liberties to work on him the way I probably wouldn't work on a guest. And so you might not want to do it this way with a paying guest in the salon, but at home, I took the liberty of doing it, doing what was necessary to do that. I would probably, if I was doing this, I'll do a dry and a wet manicure and reschedule this person to come back in a short succession because there was a lot of work. I had an aunt when she was getting married, she hadn't had a pedicure, I don't think, in her whole entire life. And this was back in the 90s. She married my uncle. She was an aunt by marriage. And so I took it upon myself as one of the bridesmaids to take her to get, and she's marrying into my family. So it was sort of like one of those icebreaker type of moments. And I took her to get a pedicure, and she will remain nameless. The cuticles, this was the very first time I saw cuticle grown down so far onto her toenails. And I believe it was the year I graduated from beauty school. And I took her to the guy who used to do my nails. This is back in Boston. Look at the huge piece. You understand why I was working so hard, guys. Yeah, so and it was the first time. I may have been 20, in my early 20s, realizing that cuticles can grow and stick to the nail. and you have to literally work to lift it up. That guy, I swear, worked on her for about 2 hours doing a pedicure. Just the 2 hours was spent on the removing the cuticle that was stuck to her toenails. Yeah, so we ended up having to pay that guy royally for doing her toes, and the only reason why he spent so much time with us, it was because of her wedding, and we ended up having to pay for like three people's appointments so that he can really. And we didn't. I didn't mind. I saw the nature of what was going on, but that was like that was a lot of cuticles left unchecked is what I'm trying to get at. Cuticles left unchecked will grow onto the natural nail and grow with the nail. As the nail is growing out, it's just stuck there and continuing to grow down. And in his case, some of the nails, they were on there for like half the length of his nail. At least it was still to the point where I can lift them. Like I said, I had not done it in a while, but I used to take him to get them done. So his cuticles just got really, really happy. And you can see, even though I had used the ball on it, pushed them back, used the ball on it, I am cutting huge pieces of dry cuticle out. So we're doing some ball work again. And this time I am like really getting in there. I felt I was confident at this point that I was not going to hurt him because like I can see how much of the dryness is there. So that if I push on the ball a little bit, I get into the corners. I I knew I wasn't gonna hurt him because there was room for me to go back in and do a wet pedicure, if not right now, in the near future. I mean a wet manicure, if not now, in the near future. So I didn't do it right now. You can hear like I'm nasally, and I just didn't want to deal with water, to be honest with you guys. As soon as I touch water right now, I start to sneeze. So we just avoided water altogether. Yeah, you can see me getting in there. Poor thing, baby. We're not going to do you like that no mo. Yeah, you can see me just getting up inside there. At this point, my confidence level grew on. I'm not hurting him. I am so not hurting him. And the more I went in there is the more I can get. But there comes a time when it's like if you were doing a pedicure and you were rubbing, some people use that slicing thing under your foot. I get off my pedicures often, so I don't have them slice under my feet. My feet is very soft and callus free. But I've seen them do it and do it to the point where when the client walk on it, it was tender. So you can actually remove when someone has a lot of callus, a lot of cuticle, whatever. You can remove to the point where they are uncomfortable. I didn't want to do that. He does work with his hands, so he work with computers all day long or on computers all day long. So the last thing I wanted it to do was make him uncomfortable on the fingers if I nicked him or if I probe too much to remove. Yeah, you will think I just started this manicure. It was just so much. I love you, honey, and I'm not going to do it no more. I'm not going to let it get to the point where it is just dry. And then he still had the nerve to run away. I had to track him down for the cuticle oil part. So we're going to dust one more time. And at this point, his nails is actually beginning to look beautiful. It didn't matter if he was biting or not. The work that I put in was well worth it. He had started complimenting me right around here that, oh wow, honey, he can see the difference himself. You know, that they actually looked good. And so at this point, I'm using a buffer and I'm just buffing the surface because remember we were trying to, my original intention was to put gel on his nail, clear gel on his nail. Sometimes I do one layer of cotton candy. So a layer of base coat, a layer of cotton candy, and a layer of top coat. Because I'm not trying to make his nails pink, obviously. Um, so I don't put two of the cotton candy, but I opted for doing nail polish instead. And there was two nails I found that had a little bit of stubborn cuticle, and so I'm using a ceramic bit right here on the stubborn cuticle. I'm trying to get in the side and the back. So I was trying to do it from an overhand position, but decided not to do that. And there was a little bit of, I just wanted the nails to match each one of them. And so, see how parallel I have the file to his nails? So I'm not really buffing the surface here anymore. I'm just going after the dryness. And so if you know nail biters, their nails, the skin start folding over. And at this point I'm beginning to realize that some of the issues I was having had a lot to do with the skin starting to fold over because if the nail does not come over the free edge, the sides round off and the top of the fingers round off, right? And in his case, it starts creating a fold over the finger. So even when I push back the cuticles and stuff, the more I probe and the more I went in there, if I can push back on the folds of his skin, I'll be like, oh wow, I have a whole new set of cuticles just exposed itself to me in those areas. So there was a lot of redundancy on this one. The more I push it back, it's like, oh wow, there is still cuticle. And this time I just got tired of changing the bits out, so I just brushed it with my hand, with the bit in my hand. So here I sanitize the surface of the nail with some swipe, and then we will proceed to polishing it. And you will see him fighting me. I'm like, dude, I'm not finished with that nail yet. Oh, I love the man. Just wanted, remember we wasn't gonna be wetting using any water on this manicure. So I am right here just cleaning it up. And at this point, we are gonna put a base coat. And I ended up having to put 2 coats of the base simply because by roughing up the surface of the nail in prep for a gel coat, it sort of like left it a little bit, how would I say that? It left it a little bit, you know what, when you rough the surface up, what it looked like, and I buffed it. So, even though I used a buffer on it, it wasn't as smooth as I would have wanted it to, or it appeared to my eyes that way. So I ended up putting 2 coats of the base coat. It felt like it needed it to me. So sometimes you have to do what is required, not necessarily one base coat, because that's what you traditionally do. I felt like you needed another coat of base coat. So I did 2 base coats and 1 coat of the top coat. And nail polish tend to not last as long. Well, we all know that. It doesn't last as long as gel. It wasn't designed to do that. And I would have to monitor him maybe every 3 days, clean him off, and put a fresh coat on it, because the moment he sees something hanging on his nail, he's going to want to go after it. So I am creating a monster for myself to have to deal with. I don't mind, but I'm just saying, if you end up having a guest that needs this type of care, you may have to schedule them to come back and in 3 or 4 days get the nails done. Just not the whole manicure all over, but just change the polish, because the moment they see anything hanging on their nail, they're gonna go bite it. Oh my gosh, they look so good. Thank you for being an awesome model, honey. It was so worth it going back and forth. So tell me, do you guys do your significant other's nails? How often do you do them? Or are you like me and very neglectful of the ones closest to us and not do their nails? How rude. Like when we go to put his ring on, I can do that. So I got him an upgraded ring. He just has a simple band. He's not a very complicated type of person. But after 18 years, I think you need a band that has a little bit of bling in it. What do you guys think? So And I'm not, in the 20th anniversary, we're going to do a ceremony where we invite lots and lots of friends and we're going to celebrate and stuff like that. But I just felt like this year we've been through so much that I kind of really wanted the both of us to reassure each other that we're still here for each other. So I'm telling him, don't you go anywhere, don't touch nothing, don't move, don't breathe. So he's sitting there asking me, are we done yet? No, we're not. Now you have to get a clear top coat over all of that. And that's why he don't let me do his nails, because he has to sit there and deal with his wife face to face for almost an hour. I am so proud of myself. I'm so proud of him for letting me do this on camera. You know, he was a soldier for 21 years, and we're coming up on Veterans Day pretty soon. And, you know, it's his nails is the least of my worries. I thank you so much for your service, for going off to Afghanistan and Iraq and coming back home safe in one piece to me and still be healthy in the mind. I thank God for that. So if you know a veteran out there, Veteran Day is coming up. It's the 11th of November. Please thank a service member in uniform. Thank a former service member, the active ones, the inactive ones, and the retired ones. They've all have a part in playing and keeping us safe in this country. And I know the country is safer for having my husband serve. And I'm so grateful to have him back home. So say thank you to a service member if you see them. They really appreciate it when you tell them thank you for their service. They really, really do. I can testify to that. All right, what do you guys think? Was it worth it? How often do you think I need to take care of my man? Goodness gracious. Yeah, so he's just now on dry time and his nails look amazing. And so do mine. I win. My nails look better, but whatever. This video was so not about me. It was about me taking care of my husband and my veteran. All right, guys, this video is about coming to an end. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as you guys heard, his nails is dry now. We did the cuticle oil after his nail was dry earlier on in the video while I was doing the voiceover. I called him over and put the cuticle oil on, so you're not going to see cuticle oil. But thank you for watching and have a great day.